All right, we're in, baby. Welcome, everybody. We're back to episode 10. We're in the double digits now. Look at that. That's pretty exciting.
That far?
I think so. Yeah, it's been two months already. Probably a little bit more than 2 months.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's like 2.5, 3.
Yeah, so I think that's perfect timing to introduce our second guest, Mr. Tanner McNamee.
What up?
Tanner, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
So Tanner, I have one thing I
good.
want to start with you first. It's a hot topic in the system now, the things that are going on.
Oh no.
Trump got elected. What do you think?
Oh, no. See ya.
Oh no.
Just kidding.
Oh no.
But I do have this. Now, this is something, it's not that big of a deal. If you want to do it right now, you can't, but it is kind of meant for you and Sherry.
Ooh, live on the podcast?
Where did I put it?
Right behind you?
So you can either open this right now if you want, but it is meant for you and Sherry. It's a wedding gift.
Can I text Sherry live on the podcast and ask her if I should wait?
Yes.
Or
Dude,
open it now?
That
That's
is
such
totally
good
fine.
content.
I didn't even bring it
Whipped.
here for content. I just brought it here because Sydney was like, hey, because she brought it over yesterday. And he's like, do not forget to give this to Tanner tomorrow. And I was like, okay, I'll bring it. I was like, if he wants to open it, he can. It's pretty cool. But if not, you guys just want to open it at home, that's also totally fine.
Perfect.
So I just thought I'd bring that. But other than
Appreciate you, dog. That's
of course,
awesome.
yeah. I know.
Well, you don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is.
It's really cool.
Could be pretty bad.
No, I'm not going
Could
to.
be a
Hey,
little
don't
spicy.
talk shit. Sydney got it. I didn't.
Hey, I said I don't know what it is,
It
man.
probably is cool.
It's pretty cool. But yeah, welcome. I don't know. Did you end up watching anything specific for the podcast, or did you just come in?
I
and
did
kinda
not.
wanted-
I did not. I have watched Penguin. I'm
He
updated on
asked
Penguin.
me. Tanner makes sure to ask me. He's like, "Is there anything I should watch?" I was like, "Not really."
No.
I ended up watching a decent amount of things, so I'm pretty excited actually. If we want, we can kind of just jump right into it.
Let's do it.
So we can start just with going over the Penguin. Now, I just want to hear, because the Penguin is so fucking dope, and everybody loves it. If you're not watching it, watch it. God damn it,
Seriously.
Tanner.
watch it.
What do you think? What are your overall thoughts of the Penguin? What do you think about the couple of main characters? What do you think about the show overall as a whole? How are you feeling?
The show, first of all, overall, as a whole, HBO just doesn't miss. They're so amazing.
goat.
Every
The
single
quality is all
I can't even think of a single
everywhere.
show that I've watched by HBO that's like not amazing.
Yeah.
That's not like a top tier level television show.
They're putting their money every time into like things that they believe in.
Yes, it's so everything's so
That's what's
grounded.
good.
Yes, it's so good.
I said this in one of the other podcasts where we talked about the Penguin, but HBO.
Oh, come on, man.
I know, it's just the way it is. That's
I'm
what happens
still
when the guy
recovering.
hosting the podcast has a sinus infection forever. It's just always going to be coughing. It's fun. HBO, or I wasn't that excited about Penguin until I saw that it was made by HBO.
I didn't
Yeah.
even get excited about Penguin until probably like 2 or 3 episodes in.
And
then
deep.
somebody, I think it was Lion, was like, dude, you got to watch the show. And so I turned it on and I was like, oh shit, this is kind of
The first
fucking sick.
episode, if you're not willing to watch the second episode after the first, you're not going to like the show.
Yeah.
Like, because if you're not kind of already locked in, it's not going to change in any way. The
No,
first
it's the
episode
same.
lays it out exactly, like high intensity. The pacing was insane. Like, so much happens in the first episode just to set up the whole thing. And then
The first, 2 minutes?
yeah, I mean, he's doming the dude early in the show. And I remember at that point, I was like, I don't know what to expect, but we killed someone really quick. And it was very satisfying.
It
very-
was, because that dude sucked.
Yeah.
And you hated him for like 2 minutes of him talking. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I mean,
And the flashbacks with him, honestly, are pretty good in showing like where they do make all the characters so awesome. Even I don't even know that dude's name, Falcone's son,
Yeah, I don't remember.
Sophia's brother,
Yeah, I don't
whatever the
remember.
hell his name is. But I still was like, when I saw him in flashbacks, I was like, oh, I understand a little bit more why you're fucked up and where you are and how all that makes sense. Even the side characters of the side characters of the side characters are dope.
I think that's what you're right is they didn't go way too crazy with like a bunch of characters who like all need this insane backstory. It's like we really only have the main 3, almost 4, Sophia, Vic, Oz, and potentially like the mom, I'd say is like kind of becomes a main by the end.
Yeah.
And they just go so hard into those 4 and they make it all logical, cool, like in a good story based, I don't know, insane, like it's a mob like show mixed in with a bunch of psychological thriller aspects at times too.
Dude, episode
much.
4
Like,
was crazy.
Yeah,
Loved it.
they go all
Loved
over
it.
the place.
It made this like hard switch because like the first 3 episodes are like a mob gangster show, and I'm watching them like this is sick, like this is so cool. I feel like I'm watching The Sopranos and Batman right now, and then episode 4 comes out, and I was like, dude, I'm like disturbed. This is crazy.
I was like drained at the end of the episode.
Yeah,
I was, like,
100%.
I talked
watching
about
it.
it before, but like those are like my biggest fear things. Where like you think like you're not insane, but everybody's telling you you're insane. And then I realized in the last episode when the mom's in the vegetative, what do you call it? Just vegetative state. I think that's what they said she was
Freaking
in.
vegetable, dude.
And Oz just
Vegetable.
torturing her in the penthouse, and like she can't do anything or move, and she's just stuck there, can't just
Dude.
probably eating out of her stomach, and she's got one of those little pump things
And
in
then
there,
the tear.
pissing herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tear made it so much worse. I was like, that might be a bigger fear.
Have you played? I think it was Arkham City. I think it was Arkham City.
I haven't played any of the Arkham games,
Dude,
unfortunately.
you gotta play the Arkham game.
I know,
they're
I know.
really good.
But
I know.
there's a location or a mission or whatever in that game that I swear to God was that penthouse. Like there's a mission where you're on top of like the super tall building, and there's like the red neon light letters, and you go in there, you kill a bunch of dudes, and then I remember jumping off because you have your like
Yeah, your
Batman
sick bat wings.
glider.
I might remember it. Like, I
remember-
think so.
I don't know if it's like 1 for 1, but it gave me the vibes. I was like, dude, it kind of made me want to go back and play Batman.
Oh, yeah. That's after the Penguin, that was the one game where I was like, you know, a game kicks ass already. I know is like really good is Batman. And those I could easily go back and play now.
That's got to be another compliment to the show, is the fact that the show that is so clearly and obviously not, I mean, it literally is, but it's not Batman. There's no Batman in it. There's no Batman stuff.
Yeah.
There is a guy named the Penguin, and that's about all the Batman-ness that there is, in a city named Gotham.
And even then, he's hardly referred to as the Penguin, honestly. He's he's referred to by his real name
Yeah,
throughout
Oz.
most of the show.
And what I was getting at is that makes the fact that watching this show, you guys enjoyed it this much, and it's like no Batman, but still made you want to go play a Batman game, is crazy. Just,
It's
dope.
when it comes to like Gotham too, and it got me more excited for like the setup for what is like the new Batman movie is insane.
Oh,
like
yeah.
what we all look back on The Dark Knight as like the best Batman / superhero, maybe like in a grounded sense version, like because Batman Begins nobody really like talks about hardly, the first one with Christian Bale, but it's set up and at least they fucking hit a home run on The Dark Knight with the Joker and everything. Dude, I'm so pumped where we just got set up like a huge good villain. His whole arc I just got to see, and now I want to watch him fucking die. And the Batman movie getting the Riddler already with the Joker cameo that we know of, and now the Penguin. Holy shit. Like I
wild.
really liked the Batman. I wouldn't say it's my favorite Batman of
No,
all of them.
definitely not.
But this
long.
next one with the Penguin show attached to it is leading into what could easily be my favorite Batman movie ever.
Do you think they'll do more shows like this in the Batman universe?
We talked about this a little bit, not undecided. I think it would be cool if this was just a one season and it leads into
Yeah.
the movie. But the movie, I told Cody this in the last podcast too. The movie Batman 2 is slated for like end of 2026, which
Someone
means
just
it's
took
probably
our
like,
picture out there, I'm pretty sure too. That was weird as fuck.
Nice.
what's up? Read reviews
I
podcast.
saw her trying to not look, saw the flash, and then she dropped the phone and like walked away.
Hell yeah.
It's slated for end of 2026, which means it's probably going to be beginning of 2027 for Batman 2. And then there's another undisclosed
What
side
year is it?
project.
2024?
Yeah.
Almost 25.
Almost, like barely.
Almost.
Yeah, but then there's supposed to be another undecided one. I don't even think we know. We might. I just don't know for sure if it's in between this or it's supposed to be after. But there's another undecided project too.
I think
So,
based off what Matt Reeves said in the little like after episode thing about like the whole project and kind of summing it all up, it sounds like this, I would hope, is like the end of the Penguin show. You can just watch this,
Yeah.
and then if they do something else, it's someone entirely different.
That was my thought, is if they were going to do another one, it would be the Joker or the Riddler
Yeah.
or whatever.
He specifically said like there's lots of avenues and we have lots of stories we'd love to tell about characters that haven't gotten a huge spotlight before, and think there's really cool ways to do a story that would help, like, I don't know, only bolster the atmosphere of everything that we've built in this universe too. I like the universe of Batman. Like,
So cool.
it can be its own thing entirely. I don't even need, like, Marvel goes ham with multiverse stuff and bringing in like every more and more and more and more, whereas Batman works so well because like I already know all the villains kind of. They're pretty iconic, and Batman's just Batman. Everyone knows him. It makes more sense in my head. It'll just probably always work more because he's a real dude, a regular dude, quote unquote.
It's funny too because in Gotham, like there's like a suspension of disbelief that Gotham is almost just like its own, like nothing else exists around Gotham.
Yeah.
No.
Because if somebody was like bombing the entire city and like the flood and everything that he caused, like where's the military at? Like why are there
There'd
not...
be international
Yes.
news. Like everyone would be on the spot to be like,
Yes.
it's crazy here in Gotham.
They
The
would have-
world is watching.
it would be insane. And they're just nothing. They're just like, oh shoot, the poor
Nobody
people
gives a
are
fuck
scared.
about Gotham.
Well, and like
They
they've got an insane asylum with all the prisoners in it, and it's like you already know there's
the
about
bad
to
guys.
be a mass breakout. Why is there a mass breakout at the one place where all your bad guys are held? It's like that's just Gotham. It's like the idea of corrupt cops, a broken system. Here's Batman to save the day, but even Batman's a little on both sides. Who
Everybody's
knows?
crazy. Tanner, I'm curious what you thought about the characters because I think the show, the best part about it is the characters. I mean, the world building and the story and everything that happens is awesome. Who do you like the most in it? Like might be a relative term. Who do you think is like the
like's
best
hard.
character? Who did you enjoy the most
Well,
watching?
Obviously, I mean,
Actually, sorry. One thing, like Oz, I think was just at the beginning. It's like, oh, this is the Penguin. Like the whole thing, why the show probably got made is the makeup and Colin Farrell and like just embracing himself into the role and all that stuff. You're like, oh, this is awesome. Then you get a couple episodes in, and then you start learning. And then you get to episode 4 about Sophia, and then you get to like episode 7 or 8 about Vic, and then you start learning about the mom, and it's like, oh my god, everybody is fucking awesome.
Dude, I fucking hated the mom, and not in a way like.
Me too.
I was talking to another buddy about this the other day, and how do
Buddy?
you say I didn't like something, but I appreciated how it was done? Like I didn't like them, but that was the point.
Joffrey.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
No, exactly.
Joffrey.
Yeah. If it made you feel
All the
way
characters in
the
the
way
show.
it was supposed to
I
make
hated
you feel.
I hated the mom in that way, where I was like, I'm uncomfortable
Yeah.
watching this, which is exactly what they wanted.
Yeah.
But my favorite character, and it might be just too easy to say, but is Oz.
Yeah.
He's so good. He starts off and he's a bad guy, and then like through how many episodes is it? 9 episodes?
It's 8.
8 episodes.
Yeah, it's 8.
They slowly make you sympathize for this dude. That's
Yeah.
a terrible person, but like you're slowly liking him. You feel bad for him because he does have this like fucked up childhood and all this stuff.
And then they rip it back.
And then
Hard.
in the last episode, they're like, "Hey, just remember, this dude's
Yeah.
majorly fucked up."
I'm probably like the most fucked up.
And then you're in this spot where you're like, "Ooh, I felt bad for this dude, and he just like murdered my probably my other favorite character, the character that I actually liked."
I think that's how, like, when I was sitting watching him kill Vic at the end, I was legit like, it's like I was crying. I had like tears running down my face, but it was like anger. It was genuine, like, are you serious, dude? Like, are you serious right now?
Bruh.
After this guy has given you everything, I get it, and I know why. Like, again, it made me feel the way I was supposed to feel, which was like genuine anger, where I was like, that guy thinks he can just get away with it. Oh, he can.
Oh, he does.
He does it time and time again. You've watched him do it time and time again. I think I said in the last episode, there's not a single person who encounters or has an interaction with Oz that doesn't come out fucked.
No, they're all fucked.
Every single person
And every time
is
I'm
getting
like-
fucked.
I'm like, what are you stupid? Like, of course he's gonna fuck you over. What are you talking about?
I was thinking about the girlriend situation too. Again,
Yeah,
where we were like, maybe she had a good ending. I'm like, she didn't have. Yeah, like she didn't have a good ending. I think if anything,
She played mummy.
Dude, she was playing mom to that, and it could easily be a threat. He could actually know what she did, and now he's using it against her. And he goes, no, now you have to do what I say.
Yeah.
And you're gonna play mom for me, and you're gonna fucking like it. And that's even worse. That's 10 times worse. That's like, and mom watches it. She's in the room, like there. That's so weird. It's so weird. But
I mean,
guarantee
they
there's
had
already penguin porn on Reddit.
years ago when the movie came out
wouldn't
with
goddamn doubt
Catwoman.
it. Yeah.
Sorry,
It's-
I didn't mean to cut you off.
you're good. It's just they had insinuated a little bit that there's this weird like sexual tension thing between Oz and his mom, which I just hate so much. So much of the show I love, hate, weird. It makes you feel the emotions.
I
That's
hate
what it
it,
does.
but I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I respect it. I respect what you're doing here. And then they affirm us with the last shot of the show of him dancing with his girlfriend dressed up as his mom in the club scene when he was like a 12-year-old kid. I'm like, fuck.
That's like tripling down.
Damn
on
it.
That's like the mom.
Damn it, dude.
The mom thought what she was gonna do was gonna like set him to be a like, oh well, my whole identity's messed up. Oh, I have to be a different person. It's like, no,
you're the worst.
He quadruples down on it, and he goes, oh, you didn't like that? Well, guess what, mommy? Now you're my fucking little vegetable pet, and I'm gonna play dress up with the girl, and you got to sit here and watch. That's
Veggie pet.
that's so fucked up. That's weird. Everyone gets screwed by him in the end, though. Like every single person, his mom obviously included.
The thing is like his mom, and I think we talked about this on the last episode. It's always hard, things blur together, but she was not a bad person. She might have been working for the mob doing the numbers, but like like those flashbacks
Like when he was younger.
Yeah, she was like a good mom that was trying to provide for her kids and treating them well, but she just happened to birth the fucking devil, as she says. And the devil corrupted her and made her fucked. And it brings her down this path where she turns into this character that you hate, but she also does such good performances. Like when she has the breakdown of like telling Oz that he needs to kill her because she's like in the cold bathtub and forgets how she gets there and can't get out. That scene was fucking awesome. That's where I'm just like, God, the actors in the show do such a good job.
I like the dilemma too of like I've gone back and forth of thinking like, is the mom a bad person because she chose to keep him alive? Like, could you actually convince yourself that your child is this heathen of a person who killed his own brothers and be like, I'm going to off my own son? Like, would you actually?
I feel like
I don't think so. But then again, I don't know.
In the early situation, no way. Like you would try to persevere. You'd try to
your brain would do so many circles to convince yourself that's not true.
It's a hard perspective to put yourself in as three dudes who have no kids.
Yeah.
So true. From what people have said, it just changes everything.
That's where I've always been like, in my mind, I can at least connect with like, if I have a child, like even now I don't have one, but I see in the future, like I will do anything on this planet to make sure that they are okay and safe. Yeah. And so it's like that mentality of, I would never literally have someone be like, kill my child. But she's also complacent. Yeah, like she's complacent her whole life throughout all of it. Like at some point, do you pick up the mantle and be like, someone's got to stop this?
Well, that's the thing is like, I feel like it's a hindsight 2020 thing where when she sees what he becomes, she's like,
if
and
only.
we can be like, man, it probably would have been good for you to do that. But no,
it's
no way.
It's the kill Hitler as a baby question. Like you don't know that Hitler is Hitler, but do you kill his baby?
Yeah,
it's a baby. You know, baby hasn't done anything yet. But also she has grown up in the world of like the mob and mafia thing, so that already puts her on a darker side than most people you would think. So you could be slightly more open to all that, but either way, it's like it's such a tough spot to be in because you're a great mom and you love your kids, but then one of your kids kills your other kids. So it's like that's what I'm talking about with the show, man. It's just fucked. And like everything is the worst thing that could possibly be.
It's messed up because I can't like I almost want to blame her for being like, it's your own fault for having like dementia. Like you set yourself on this path of delusion and you knowingly did it. You had a lot of chances to back out, and I feel like, but the longer you sit in the lie and the longer you sit it, you believe it and you become delusional and you become like, oh no, that is like, I think he is a good person. And you watch him kill someone and you're like, no, but I think he's a good person. And you're like, what do you mean?
The show does that to us. We're like, you're watching and you're like, oh, like he cares about Vic. Oh, he cares about whoever. And then the last episode.
If anything, you're right. Like, it just goes to show how well thought out it is over the long grand scheme of the show where, I mean, it's only one season, but the pacing of all 8 episodes where you get many moments of Vic and Oz having gradual build up into this like relationship where you really do see Vic have Oz have moments looking at Vic of like, hey, this kid's kind of got it. Like he's really helping me out. He's really stepping my game up and like to pull the rug out from underneath. That's like the best I've ever seen it done with a death of a character where I was like, I think I saw it coming, but I was so wrapped up in the believable performance, I would say, of Colin Farrell, like convincing even me in the moment where I'm like, this dude's like my dad. Oh, he's killing me now. Shit. Yikes.
I love it. Really like family. That's what I think is great about it too, is that I think I might have made the mistake I think that was probably the goal. In the beginning, I'm like, okay, does this guy actually care or is he all in it for himself? And then I think when you get down to the end of season 1, the answer is both. I think this dude does care. He did care about Vic. He does love his mom. Until it comes across his plans and like he needs to do what's best for him. Because I think those moments where he's having those moments and he's like manipulating people and having real in-depth stuff, like even when he's preaching to the crime guys and uniting them together and saying those politicians are fucking us, why can't we get what they're getting? He believes that and it's true, and he's going to bring them and unite them like that until it's not in his benefit to do that. So I think it's a mixture of both, where I the whole time was trying to figure out, like, does he care about these people? Is he trying to do this for someone? Or is he just pure evil and fucked? And it's a slight gray area.
I mean,
both.
Is he always just playing on a character when he's using people?
That could be an interpretation too.
Like, yeah, because that's almost where I go. Yeah, it's like the show does.
No, he's just fucked.
The show does so good. I have to rewatch and kind of think back and be like, dude, does this guy care at any of these points? Now I like have to analyze and go back and be like, he's just really good. He's so good at talking.
Yeah,
he knows exactly
so
what to say at every moment to get himself in a better view for whoever he's talking to. It does not matter if they literally want to kill him in the moment. They will still give him a chance to say something.
It's the cat and mouse game, man. Like, and that's why Sophia, like her being brought into the show is so, like, just seeing her toy, like them going back and forth and having the realizations the whole show, the cat and mouse, of like her having the shock of Oz doing this and then him having the shock of her doing this and then just going back and forth and then it ending up with Oz being on top. It just shows who outplayed them in the cat and mouse game. And I was just like, I just could not believe how good Sophia was once we got like deep into her character.
Badass.
Yeah.
Like,
Once you see episode 4 and you get the full backstory of like, damn, she got screwed.
Dude,
like
screwed. Can you, like, as soon as, because they're showing the episode, right? And then I can't remember at what point in the episode they say it, but they're like, yeah, it's been 10 years. And you're like, wait, what? It's been 10 fucking years? I thought the whole episode, I'm like, oh, it's been, she's been here for 6 months to 3 months, whatever. And then I just can't even imagine how fucked up you would be.
They did so good at showing, like, when the brother comes back to be like, there's not going to be a trial. I don't know what else. And she
says nothing.
She says nothing, gets up, goes out to like the eating area, looks at her little roommate girl who's eating her her drugs now. And she's like, you're eating those, you get the drugs because you're just feeding them all our conversations. And then domes her, just takes her out, right? It's finally like, well, if I'm going to be here for my life, I'm going to make things my way. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to sit here and just be a puppet for everyone to just stomp on and do whatever they want with.
It's interesting because you take into account all the other main characters, and they all are decent people at the beginning that all get corrupted and horrible and fucked because they are.
Except Oz.
Except for Oz. That's what I'm saying. And they all get corrupted because of Oz. You take into account Vic, take into account Sophia. Sophia was trying to do the right thing. She kind of didn't really know what was going on. That was the whole problem with her brother. Like,
so that was like before the beginning of the show.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I mean, other than Vic.
But I mean, I think you could make the argument that all of them were a good person at some point in their life.
Not Oz.
Maybe not Oz.
That's what I'm saying. Is like they all were kind of good and all corrupted
he's the only
by
irredeemable.
Oz.
Like we even see him as a child from his earliest point, and he's still the worst possible person he could have been.
And that's the point I'm making, is that they all were like kind of good at some point until they kind of really came across paths with Oz.
He's just the harbinger
where they did the one moment that made them fuck. For the mom, it was killing the brothers. For Sophia, it was him tattling on her and getting her thrown in jail. For Vic, it was yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. For Vic, it was just like him catching him stealing his rims and then sucking him into his life.
Sucked into a world of chaos by the man.
Yeah.
It was by the man.
He just corrupts everybody he's around, and he's
even politicians.
I know. That stuff was awesome too.
That was cool.
Yeah. And then getting to see him in his little tuxedo, didn't wear the top hat.
I'm curious to see like if he's going to be like the big bad villain for the movie.
It's got to be.
That's what I was thinking too.
But they set up the last one
they didn't
differently.
Really set him up.
It's crazy how if they had a long running plan for this, where they're like, we're going to do the Batman movie this way, and we're going to do a Penguin show, and we're going to really ramp it up. But if you just watch both, at least the first movie.
Are you talking about the end of Batman?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember what happened at the end of that.
Well, I'm just saying he's not in it a lot. Like, he's not a huge character.
Oh,
the Penguin.
Yeah.
So they don't set up a ton of like, oh, here's your next big baddie. If anything, it was the Riddler talking to the Joker. That was like the, here's what's coming next. And that's kind of like, now I'm like, what? Where do we go from here? Yeah, like if Penguin's the guy, I could see him. If anything, it would be cool to see like Penguin's the leader of like the criminal underground somehow. He's able to rally the troops and everyone else comes to him and he can be a quote unquote leader. I don't know how far that goes, but it's, I guess, an interesting enough dynamic that I'd like to see it.
It's interesting too because the Joker and the Riddler feel, the whole Batman world is pretty grounded, but the Joker and the Riddler feel less grounded than the other ones. Like the Penguin is just a dude, right? He's just a mob boss.
Yeah.
Whereas like the Joker and the Riddler are like they're fucking psycho. They're crazy and
crazy
do crazy
people.
shit. So I'm curious how, like, is it gonna be the three of them going at each other? Like how is this gonna play out?
I think I'm actually now more curious because you're right. We've seen now Penguin's backstory fully, and we've seen the Riddler's backstory in the movie. I actually really like the Riddler's backstory being like, he's just a dude who watched the Batman, a masked vigilante, and he's like, that's kind of I think I could do that. And he actually takes on the mantra of doing it in the same sense as Batman would. And then, like, I love the moment at the end where they meet in the interrogation room, and he's like happy to see Batman. He's like, dude, like, you're my idol. Like, I love you. I've watched, like, what I did was because of watching you. And he's like, holy fuck, I fucked up. Like, I kind of put the wrong message out there of like
emo Batman,
like
problem.
The vigilance and like I'm vengeance versus like justice is really in front of him now. I think that's super cool for the Riddler. He is a normal dude who we've seen like kind of that like almost, I don't know what the right, like your Discord mod kind of guys where they like they sit in their room and they just fester like these negative opinions, like an incel kind of behavior, and it's just like fuck the world, fuck everyone else, and like that I fully believe that would happen. And now all we need is the Joker. We know nothing about the Joker, so I would hope this next movie.
They're gonna get Joaquin.
I would love a new God. I hope Lady Gaga's in it.
Folia de.
I would love to see a cool grounded Joker backstory.
Joker 2, that's what it's called.
It's
Folia
like
de.
Yeah. Come again?
Have you seen Folia de?
Yeah.
No.
It's like
Joker
French,
2?
isn't it?
You know about
No, I have
Joker
not
2,
seen
right?
it.
You know about it though?
Maybe.
The Joker 2?
I don't know.
Wow, that's surprising. So Joker Folia do is the sequel.
Is it out?
Yeah, it's been out for a month probably. I think it came out in October.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I know about it, but I have not watched it.
It's the biggest shit show of all time, apparently.
Really?
It's just the absolute worst. Everybody hates it.
After all the reviews and stuff, I kind of just like forgot about it. It was like, well, I might watch it eventually.
You'll
It
probably
makes
like
me kind of watch it. No, Matt will probably like it. I won't like it. All right.
We got to get Matt on here with how many times we're going to shit on his movie taste.
Well, it's
he
funny.
has to be on here.
It's funny too because I've talked to him about it a couple of times because we were watching football the other day and I was like, yeah, man. He was like, yeah, you guys just always roast me. I was like, yeah, man, you got to get on there.
Got to come defend yourself.
Yeah,
got to bring it on. Bring it on. And
you got it. I got roasted day one on your first podcast.
You did. Yeah, you did. What was it? What was it even about?
I don't even
just
remember
you not coming on.
You fucking bitch.
Yeah, I think it was just you not coming on or something.
If I hear anyone's name in our friend group and like, fuck that guy, my immediate next response is yes, fuck that guy. I don't, even if I don't know what was said.
Tanner, are you gonna hop back on the anime podcast?
No.
We should do it. Fun fact for everybody, Tanner.
On like it was an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
Fun fact for everybody: this is not Tanner's first time podcasting.
It's not.
Did you guys film 2 episodes?
Kinda. We filmed one that was like probably 2 hours long, and then one that was like 30 minutes.
2 hours.
Yeah, it was we reviewed the entirety of Hunter x Hunter.
Oh my!
Which is like 100.
What happened? Where'd it go, man? Why wasn't it
It's on my PC at home?
Why wasn't
right
it
on my
It's
desktop.
never been posted anywhere though.
Never
right?
been posted
Why
anywhere.
not? What happened?
I don't know. We just fell out of it. Well, so we were gonna do oh god, Gavin's gonna. I think it's called Demon Hunter. It's called Demon Hunter, right?
Don't ask me.
Demon
Well,
Slayer.
not an
Demon
anime.
Slayer. Demon Slayer. I know the
Slayer,
name
yes.
of it. I know the name of it.
I'm not the guy.
We were gonna do that next, and we started, and then I just kind of fell out of it. And to be honest, I don't really watch a ton of anime anymore. Sherry's
makes it a
still
little tough.
big into it. Sherry and Gavin could make a really good podcast about it.
That does make it tough if you're not actually watching it.
Sherry like dabbles. She'll just when we were in New Orleans, she texted me. She's like, I started this anime, and then the next day she's like, I finished it. It was really good. Jesus.
Grinding.
The short ones I like more. That I could
Yeah.
I can do a shorter one much easier than any of the other like 1,000 episode stuff.
She's like, and Gavin are like, you got to watch One Piece. I'm like, dude.
But only these episodes and not this filler stuff. And I'm like, gone.
Like, that's more
It's
of
1,000 episodes.
Yeah.
1,000.
It's well over that. It's like 1,100 or something now.
And it's like ongoing. It's not
Naruto.
done.
No, it's still going.
It's never done.
Naruto's done though, right? And that's like 1,000.
Probably.
I don't know.
There's probably 5 versions of Naruto that all have like interceding plot lines and stuff that you have to watch this and this and this in order to understand the ending of that one. It's like,
too much.
I don't fucking know.
And I run into this problem usually every winter because, the summer goes by, you're doing a bunch of fun stuff. And then the winter comes and I'm like, oh, I want to play this game and I want to watch this show and I want to read this book and I want to listen to this podcast. And then pretty soon I'm like, dude, there's not enough time in the day to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
So I got to like pick and choose what I want to do and what I want to,
When it comes to podcasts,
Anime fell off.
I don't even really.
Anime fell off. It just didn't make the cut.
I'm not like listening to. I don't know if I've ever sat. Oh, I used to. Like the only podcast I ever watched every episode all the way through was the Always Sunny guys doing their podcast where they just talked about
They
the
had a
episode.
podcast?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Hilarious.
They would just get on and every episode was just going through every episode of the show and them just talking about like behind the scenes, the making of, how they got these ideas. I'm like, this is super interesting. And they're also just really funny. They make one of the funniest shows I've ever seen. And but I don't watch, and that stopped, and I don't watch any podcasts actually from start to finish. I've found out.
Really?
Yeah.
You mean from like the start of an episode to the end of one?
Yeah, like I never actually end up finishing one whole episode of
Dude,
anything.
see, this is my minor ADD stuff. Is like I'll have it and it'll show on my Spotify and like it'll show that it's not finished and I have to like go in and listen to the last like 10 seconds. I have to finish all of them.
I end up
You leave 10 seconds on a 4-hour.
Well, it's like oh, I finished it because I will sit in my car and finish them sometimes if there's a couple minutes left, and then I'll get out and then I come back in the next morning. And it's like, oh, there's 5 seconds left, and I listen to 5 seconds. Psycho.
all right, guys, see you later.
Yep.
Dude, I am mentally ill when it comes to YouTube videos and podcasts and all that stuff. I cannot function in normal day-to-day life without some form of media playing in my ears.
Oh, yeah.
I've had those feelings where I'm like, it's time to eat something. And before I even realize it, I'm like, I've been sitting here with my food for like 20 minutes. And I've just been scrolling through videos and I haven't touched it because I won't eat until I find the right video.
I'm at the point now where like, I'm be like, oh, it's time to go to bed. I got to like go brush my teeth. And I'll like walk into the bathroom and be like, oh, I need to go get my phone. So for these next 2 minutes, I can put on a YouTube video that I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch them go, what's up, guys? My name's Stupid Head.
You're not going to get to
My
any of the
name's
content.
Baby
And then I'm like,
Baby back
okay, it's
bitch.
time to go to bed.
Yeah. None of the content you'll actually get to.
Yeah, I am the same way.
Yeah.
I do
It's
it.
brutal.
I think I've explained to you guys before where I've noticed, at least for me, I listen to just crazy amounts of music normally. Like I can have music on and that's all I need to keep me going, doing stuff. I tend to be more distracted and like, I'll just straight up listen to a podcast when I'm doing something and need to multitask. And I'm like, oh, I can't do this other thing at the same time. But I kind of listen to music very actively, I guess. It's like any song I'm listening to, it's not just like, I like this song. It's like
Not just listening in the background.
yeah, like I'm always like counting, or it's like I think it's like an ADHD thing or something that like is linked to why I like drums. Is it's like whenever I'm listening to music, I'm like counting in my head to the song, or I'm trying to find the one, or I'm just looking for the highs and the
We're all
lows.
trying to find
and
the one, man.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll just sit there and I can do whatever it is and just kind of zone out and keep doing what I'm doing logically. Like at work for what I do, it's like the best thing ever is just listening to music, and I can just go for like 8 hours straight if I had to, and it wouldn't be that bad.
That's why it's kind of nice when I'm doing Uber and Lyft. I love it because I can just listen to podcasts or music. I don't dive into music like that, unfortunately. I try to sometimes, but my brain just never gets there. But maybe now that I'm playing drums more, maybe
I was about to say,
I do notice now I'm listening so hard to drums. And I don't hear the rest of the song. I'm like, oh, shit, I didn't hear any.
All you got to do is pick up the instrument, and if you find any interest in it, that's how it was for me. As soon as I got on a kit for the first time, I kind of knew. I was like, this is sick. This is so cool. Not only that, I kind of like I have a knack for it way more than anything else. So now, as soon as I did that, I was like, yeah, you hear songs differently. You hear the drums more. You can like start to like just compartmentalize one part of a song and hear it. And like, I don't know, it's weird.
My experience with it is so different because it's so like opposite. Like I got a drum kit and then I joined percussion and was learning the snare drum in like 5th and 6th grade. Hated it. Hated band. Never wanted to do it.
Band kind of sucks.
Yeah, band did suck.
As a kid, being told to do a practice rudiment for 30 minutes is damn near impossible.
Yeah.
You do not at the age of
rudiments.
whatever, like just being told to do any, hey, sit and practice none of the fun stuff for 30 minutes. You will literally, you're like, no, I'm not going to do that. I won't do that.
Did you know Xbox exists?
Yeah, like fuck practicing. I'm not going to do that.
And so I tried to come back to it several times and never did. And then just for whatever reason, a month ago, I played drums and I was like, oh, I can kind of do this. And then now I've been practicing and like I've learned to do stuff. And I just never thought that would happen. It was just such a... It would have been cool if I just hopped on a drum kit and I was like, oh, I can kind of do this. This is fun.
No, but it doesn't have to be like that.
It doesn't have to, but I wish it would have been so that I could like really play drums now because that would be really fun.
Well,
but now I'm just starting the journey when I'm 27 instead of 16.
I think part of how I developed into it, dude, I've always said it, and I still would like attest to this being a good training method. Rock Band, like playing the drums on Rock Band, yeah, it's not a real kit. But you're playing to a recorded track
said that too.
that was on a click track, and it is actually synced up to where it's going to tell you fucked up when you're off. As the drummer, that's the exact thing you need to know.
Yeah.
Is are you playing on or off? And it will teach you to get a really, really good like backbone of like groove and rhythm where you're like, okay, I can play a 4/4 beat pretty easy and just keep it on lock, like not even have to think about it and just keep going and never once have to break a beat and then like fill in it and just keep going. And who cares? Like you can always keep going. It doesn't matter. Rock Band gave me all those skills straight up. I walked in my first drum lesson and
I always hope guitar would do that.
Sadly guitar, as you
not
know,
the same.
5
It's not the
buttons
same.
doesn't equate to like
6 strings,
1,000 different
15
options.
frets. Yeah.
So that was never possible, but you got a foot pedal. You have 4 things. It syncs up to knowing your yellow's the hi-hat and your red's the snare and your blue and green alternate between your toms and your crashes. And it will teach you fundamentals of playing the drums. And so like I practice myself because of video games. That's the only way I would have been able to. And I developed a practicing like regimen where I was playing Rock Band hours every day, dude. I was the kid who would sit there and I did like the achievement to get there's an endless set list. You play every song that comes in the game front to back, no pausing, no failing, all on expert.
Bro, how long? That
6.5 hours.
Oh my God.
6.5 hours. I
You
played.
can't fucking pause
I
it.
that was an achievement, and I was like, I'm gonna get it. It's called
it
the
like-
Iron Bladder.
Does,
And
Speaking
I
of
tell
bladder,
you what,
I'm gonna go pee. You guys talk about.
I'll
this.
tell you what, I ran to pee after it. I
Now-
was running,
does
sprinting.
like does it even back you out, or is it just a stream of notes for
no,
6.5
so like
hours?
you start the song. It's like classic Rock Band. They're like a little intro thing, and then like the thing pulls up, and you're like, all right, get ready, 3, 2, 1, and then it goes in, and then it'll tell you your score after the fact, and then you just go straight to the next thing.
Okay,
like-
so it's not a river
No,
of notes
no.
for 6.5 hours.
It was
But
so
it's
yes. Was it 6.5 hours straight? Yes. At least 30 to 45 minutes of it. No.
Okay,
Right? Like
okay.
in the
There's
grand
like small breaks,
all those breaks in between 80 some
but
songs.
not enough time to pee.
Dude. I couldn't pause it. That's the thing. It was ongoing to where like they know the only way you stop this is pausing it.
Yeah,
I couldn't do that because I wanted the achievement so fucking bad. I wanted it so bad. But like that was
That's
my
so funny.
my dedication that I knew I had compared to any other kid because I could walk in and I was already ripping on Guitar Hero. Like I
okay.
could get in there and do it.
I finally just comprehended what you're talking about. It's an achievement. It's not an in-game challenge where it's like you have to do the 6.5
No.
hours.
Literally.
It's an Xbox achievement.
It was an achievement. Yes.
to do. I see.
Yeah, it was an Xbox
I
achievement.
see.
Do the endless set list without pausing.
Okay.
And I saw that and I said, I already knew I was like, I had to prep for it where I was like, this is going to take Lord knows how long. I'm probably like 10 or 11, maybe 12 years old.
Oh my God.
And I'll just remember ripping on the guitar for hours. And just like, at that point, I kind of looked at myself and was like, I just played 82 songs. Like, didn't actually play. But I sat down for 6.5 hours straight playing nothing but songs on a plastic guitar consistently. I'm like, I think I like.
Where are the bitches at?
Yeah. Why is nobody like me? Why are these girls not here? I'm dumb. Why I gotta just invite them here and show them?
There we go.
That'll really
There
make
we
it.
go.
That'll sell it.
Make an announcement in the Monday morning PA system.
I remember
after
it.
the Pledge of Allegiance.
I remember as a kid even. I can remember being at, weird enough, Zach Stewart's birthday party in elementary school,
yeah.
and he had Guitar Hero. And it was one of those, like, he knew I was good, and he even was like, Cody, you got to come up and show everyone how you play Through the Fire and Flames. And it was one of those, like, yeah, no big deal. I was like, yeah, all right, fine.
In your full camo outfit.
Not full camo sweatshirt, very potential, like high potential. I was wearing that. But I also used to have one with, like, I had 2 different jackets. Funny enough, I'll never forget, for a Christmas, I went down to California. I show up to California in a new jacket my mom just got me. It was like red with a dragon head on it or something.
Hell yeah.
And I was like, nice. I show up. My grandma is standing in the airport with, no lie, not the same exact, a different color, same exact jacket.
Oh my God.
It was red and then there was like a brown one. And I was like, oh, sweet. And my mom was laughing so hard. She was like, there's no way we actually are in different states and got the same exact thing.
Solo podcast for the next 7 seconds. My first guest here is Cody Ranson, and my second one is Reed Friesen.
Welcome to the Reed Reviews podcast.
Welcome.
I ran up the stairs. Sorry, I'm a little out of breath.
I thought it was later.
No,
time is it?
we got plenty of time.
5:47.
We got plenty of time.
Really? We will.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
I thought it was like 6:15.
Feels like it goes by quick, but then also it doesn't, especially when I have to watch the seconds and like the time
No,
that we're at
talking
the
to you
whole
guys
time.
has gone
No,
slow.
believe
I know.
me, this is draining. Okay, not much more.
I'm lightheaded.
So like I said, I watched a lot of things.
Pass out.
I don't think. Let's find out here. So let's start. Arcane. We've already talked a little bit about Arcane. You said you watched the first few episodes of the first season, right?
I've watched all of the first season.
You've watched all of the first season. Haven't watched any of the second season.
Me, same.
You're in the same boat. Damn it.
Sorry.
dude. And you know what's funny?
Damn
I would talk to you about the first season, but I don't even remember it. We started the second
That's
season.
how I felt.
And we got like halfway through the episode. I was like, dude, I gotta watch the first season again because I
No,
don't
you just
even
watch a
remember what happened.
How long?
recap.
How long was it that it came out? Like 2 years ago?
3 years ago.
3
It
years.
came out
Okay,
in
okay.
2021.
Yeah. I haven't watched
over 3 years.
only
ago.
the one time watch through.
However, I did hear you talk about it. I think it was on the last podcast. The first like whatever
episodes. It's a
2 minutes.
three-episode
No. The first 2 minutes of the first episode was fucking sick.
Oh,
The
of
animation
season 2.
and yes, I
Yes.
was like, dude,
Yeah.
this is so cool.
So I guess I'll just talk about it a little bit without spoilers because I would like you guys to watch it because it is awesome.
Yeah, but don't spoil it.
Okay, I'm going to talk about it without spoilers.
Okay, so no spoilers.
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
Dude.
It is dope. Everything about this show looks amazing because I watched. It was kind of nice because I actually got to watch the newest 3 episodes because they come out in the sets of 3, which I kind of like it. It's 3 episodes every Saturday, which is weird. So there's only 9 episodes. 9 episodes in the first season, 9 episodes in the second season.
Very unique release schedule.
It is a little weird. And Saturday is usually super busy, kind of a weird day to release it, but whatever. It's working for me. So Matt and I were watching some football on Sunday. We watched the Seahawks game, and then we were going to watch the night game, which we kind of watched. We ended up watching Arcane during the whole game. So it was fun to watch it with somebody who's actually been paying attention to it and watching it. And man, dude, every shot of this show, this is the coolest part about this show, is that the animation is dope. And like you're just saying with that opening scene of them, basically what happens, you guys remember, we talked about this a little bit last week, but Jinx shoots her ult. Tanner would know this. Cody would not know this. Jinx shoots her ult rocket at the tower of the council and
wrecked.
tilts over. Yeah, freaking boner.
I do not understand what was just
You're
said.
such a boner ass bitch. She shoots a giant rocket and it blows up the council's chamber room. And everything's happening in slow motion, and it feels like, and it's that cliche like ringing thing after a bomb just happens, and a certain character gets up. Yep, major spoilers for the first 30 seconds. So Jace gets up and he's like looking around, and everything's just ringing. People are dead. There's people like police officers running over and everything. I was like, God damn, this feels like a real moment that I'm in. And it's just,
I'm in a
it's
moment.
I am. I was like, and it's
I'm in
fucking
it.
awesome. And the first 3 episodes of season 2
Oh,
they're
don't spoil it.
good.
Nice. Okay.
Okay, well,
But I wasn't
What if they were bad?
but I wasn't totally sold in like for the first season of Arcane is one of my favorite things that there is. I loved it, specifically the first 3 episodes of season 1 of Arcane. It made me tear up. It made me cry a little bit. It was super sad, like the stuff that happens in it, the whole family dynamic and everything about it. And the first 3 episodes of season 2, I wasn't really feeling that. I still really liked it. Animation was super cool. It was really fun to watch. I liked picking the story back up. Second 3 episodes brought it back in, and like they're dialing it back into like getting this really emotional, really cool stuff, having these awesome action scenes, these insane set pieces, and the story is starting to get off the walls because I was explaining to Cody a little bit how League lore works and how much of a shit show it is.
Yeah.
It is starting to get very ethereal and like insane, and not just in the cities, kind of, and not just like basic like kind of grounded stuff. It's starting to get weird, magical, like
Aurelian Soul.
kind of.
I mean, so many
Kind of, but no.
So many League characters
but
are
no.
like magical,
Well,
crazy looking.
Aurelian Soul is like
Yeah, tell him
literally
that.
he's a galaxy eater.
Yeah, like
Where he like eats
He is
whole
the
galaxies.
he is the star of the world that League of Legends takes place on. So if that
But-
tells you anything,
He's the same size as like normal people.
yeah, but he's
Yeah,
just
of course,
he fights
yeah.
on a normal battleground.
yeah.
But what is the tech? Because like there's lore to them playing because they're called summoners. They're not, or like we are called summoners. So we're
Yeah.
summoning these champions
I don't know.
into this like I don't really know it super well, but we're like summoning a champion into this battlefield to do battle.
That's what the game is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what the lore is for that. I haven't dove into that. I
Think
think
they'll
it's.
get into that in this season.
I don't think so. I think honestly that whole summoner kind of lore bit about all the champions in their universe, I think that's kind of irrelevant. I don't think it's something that they actually.
I think
really-
it's their way of just being like, this is how you play. The
Exactly,
game.
yeah.
I want to know why I'm doing any of this bullshit in this game.
Yeah.
I need
I care
need
so
an
much.
answer.
I'm fucking pissed.
That's the only reason I play League. It's for the story. So
That's what I was saying to you last week too. Is that like I think the only reason the show got made is just because this game is so popular. It is not because there was a giant. Well, it is giant because the game is so big, but like the percentage of people that play League and dive into the lore and like know all about it is so small compared to the amount of people that actually play it. Like I don't think I know anybody in our friend group, and we have a lot of people in our friend group that have played League a lot or do play League currently. None of them, I think, know about the lore.
I mean, I feel like
Not extensively. For
not
sure.
extensively at all.
A little
But
bit.
because like every champion, like when you go and look at their little page, they have like a little
like a bio
3 or 4
thing.
paragraphs.
Well, I was
not
telling
even
Cody
paragraphs,
some of
3 or
them.
4 sentences.
I was telling Cody some of them are sentences. Some of them are like small books.
Some of them books. But
They're long.
A
But-
paragraph.
They're very long.
they are beefier, but it's not like you're not getting like a whole book of a backstory on them. But there is that if you want to go find it. Like they have, and I don't know how much of it is like fan made. I don't know how much of it is whatever. But there is a lot of what just because there's so many champions.
Yeah.
What are they
Yeah.
at now? You've played the most recent 150, 60?
Probably, man. There's a lot. And what's really cool is that you guys might not quite remember this because she was only in a little bit at the end, but there's a. Man, I'm trying to explain this. That would actually make sense. I was going to say there's a champion that comes from another city who gets introduced at the end of the first season.
The mom.
Yeah, the mom lady. Her name's Mbessa, I think is her name. She's dope, by the way. But her champion, when the second 3 episodes got released, her champion got released in League, which is pretty cool.
That is
It's
pretty
always
cool.
fun. Definitely made me want to go play her. So I did that a little bit. But the show is awesome. I'm starting to feel the feels that I had in the beginning, or in at the beginning of season 1, and also just throughout the whole season of the first season. And I just really enjoy this show. It's one of my favorites. I like it.
No,
But
it's
they need to stop with this shit of taking over 3 years to release a goddamn TV show. Because have you guys watched Invincible?
No.
Have you? Damn, you guys haven't watched that. Watch Invincible. Maybe. Invincible is also awesome, and it's not long. There's only a season and a half.
It's the
maybe 2
long as
It's
seasons.
the animated superhero one, right?
Yeah, and it's really good.
I've seen clips of it that made me want to watch it. There's the one clip, I don't know, where he's like talking about existential shit, and I was like,
Yeah. All you needed. So we were talking about
Holy
this.
shit, bro! Sick. I love this.
We were talking about this with the Penguin. If you watch the first episode of the Penguin and you don't want to keep watching, then all right. If you watch the first episode of Invincible and you don't want to keep watching, then all right. Watch it until the end of the episode, and then go from there. But seriously, go watch it because that show is awesome. But that show had another problem, and they were making some animation excuse. They actually made some pretty funny trailers that were pretty good, like breaking the fourth wall stuff. Where like the trailers were like, yeah, it turns out it takes a really long time to animate stuff and create a new story and all this stuff. And either way, it took way too long from when the first season came out till the second season came out, and the second season did the split in two thing where they did a mid-season break, which I'm really starting to hate, especially after it already took you 3 years to release the second season.
You can only do a split season on your final season.
Yeah.
I think that's the only way it works, is if you can do that.
Or
like,
just
you're going to
call
along
it a different season.
Yeah, or because it's like if you're going to split it, it's the only like Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Breaking Bad did it the way that I think works.
Did Breaking Bad do it?
This season 5 is a double because it was a longer season though. So it made sense. It's not like we're shorting you episodes just because it's the last season. No, we're giving you more episodes and we are going to cut it, but that cliffhanger was like the single best cliffhanger of a like just wait a couple months till we come back with the next 8 episodes that are going to knock your fucking socks off.
It just
perfect.
It just annoys me so much. And like maybe there's some COVID stuff in there. I'm sure there probably is. But like for real though, 3.5 years in between seasons of a show that was so loved and so big. Like
And you're talking about Invincible.
I'm talking about Invincible and Arcane.
Okay.
I think Invincible might have been 2.5 years, but Arcane was 3.5 years. Arcane came out at the beginning of 2021, and then the second season I think just started coming out like 2 weeks ago.
End of 2024.
When it came out, I was so high on it. I was like, dude, this show is so fucking cool. And I still have a lot of respect for it. I still really like it. But 3.5 years later, or however
3.5
long, I'm like,
it sucks.
I don't even remember what happened. And so like, I don't know the first thing about animating a television show. Like,
No.
I have no idea. And
Especially one that looks this good.
it looks so amazing. And so I get that it's going to take a while, but at a certain point, I'm like, are you guys making money? Because, like, that's a long time to go.
I only found out about it because I
releasing
just
anything.
opened Netflix and it said set a reminder.
It's also Riot, so yeah, they're making money. They're doing fine.
I don't know. I'm thinking back to like again Breaking Bad, but like that era of shows like Walking Dead when that was coming out and those big cable shows, like it was very normal to just every year.
Yeah.
You got your new season. Like Breaking Bad started in 2008, ended in 14 or 15.
Yeah.
A 7-8 year run. They might have had like a year or two where they do like a longer break, but at times the show got bigger and bigger. They wanted a bigger budget, but like there was never more than I would say a year ever.
There was never
in between.
3 because
Ever.
other Game of Thrones did it, and
that's
House of the Dragon does it, and it's these huge gaps between seasons.
and the show does not add up. It, like if I'm supposed to think that we need more time to make it good. Okay, the product I'm getting does not equate to that.
It doesn't feel like it's been in the oven for 3
I was
years.
gonna say
Doesn't
too.
feel like that.
It's okay if you make it 2 years. If especially for a Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon type level show, but anything if it's taking 3.5 years is fucking annoying. It's a very anime-esque thing
I'm fucking
too. A lot with a lot Attack on Titan and like because you just lose all the hype for it and all that stuff. Just
forget.
And
You do.
everything.
Invincible, this show is really awesome. The animation is not anything impressive in Invincible, though. I don't know why that took 2.5 years. It was kind of ridiculous.
That's true.
Arcane is like one of the most visually animated. It's like one of the most stunning animated things that I've seen. Invincible kind of sucks, to be honest, but the story is really cool. The action they put a lot of effort into, but when they're just walking around doing normal everyday things, the animation it's about as basic as you can get. So I don't know why that took too long. I don't know if maybe there was some licensing wouldn't make sense because they already have it for the whole series. So I just don't know why it would take 2.5 years for that to come out. And with the marketing being so bad, Invincible, I can kind of get that maybe that didn't reach me. But I am a fucking nerd that plays League 5 days a week. I watch YouTube 5 hours a day. Why the fuck have I not seen an Arcane ad my entire time watching all of these things?
Yeah.
Like I said, the only reason I found out about it is because I opened Netflix and it had Arcane there, not even as the Prime thing that was coming out next week. I think the Prime thing was like I don't even remember. Some other stupid Netflix original. And Arcane was like the second thing. And I was like, oh, is that out? And I went and I clicked on it. And it had this stupid thing where like set a notification. Oh, the main thing was the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight. That's what it was. So I clicked on that to give me a reminder for Arcane to come out. And I was like, oh, that's how I know that Arcane's coming out now. 3.5 years later. Not only did it take 3.5 years, but a person who is pretty like engrossed in the Riot universe, League of Legends, is not getting ads for it.
They didn't market it.
What are we doing?
At all the second season?
Yeah.
I haven't.
Right?
And even then, it's like I probably wouldn't see something, but I do remember seeing stuff for season 1.
Yeah.
I feel like definitely remember seeing stuff.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen anything
It
yet.
was the same problem with Invincible season 1 too. Like I just happened to open Amazon one day and I was like, oh, there it is. And then I watched the first 4 episodes and then it just ended. I was like, that's not the end of the season. And then it's like second half of the season comes out in 2 months. I'm like, God damn it, dude. What are we doing?
The Attack on Titan effect.
That's the main reason I haven't finished it was because they kept breaking it off and then taking breaks. And I'm like,
Well, now there's just like one, or is it 2, like hour-and-a-half long episodes?
There's 2 long episodes.
So season 4 came out. It released the first half of the season. Then they didn't release this and say this until the last episode came out. Last episode comes out of the 4th season. Turns out it's just the first half of the 4th season.
Yeah, gotcha.
Second half of the 4th season comes out. Doesn't happen until the last episode of the second half of the 4th season comes out. Then they're like, oh, okay, now we're also going to release the last 2 episodes or whatever, and they're going to be an hour and a half. And I think those were also released like a month or maybe a couple weeks apart. So they ended up splitting it like 4 times. And I was like, I was just so bad. I was like, okay, I'm just not watching this show then. And then it all come out, and my coworker actually had brought it up to me, and then I was like, okay, now it's all out and it's done. I'll go and watch it.
That's the one anime I was pretty locked in on consistently.
great show.
And then I dropped off because they kept breaking it off, and I have completely forgotten and have to do so much work on my own to try to remember.
So like
you have to know what's
convoluted
happening
and complex.
You have
especially in season 3 when they do the lore dump of because you've watched up to season 4.
I think as far as I've
watched
said,
season 3.
It's like all I have left is maybe an episode or 2 before the last like movie ones.
Yeah,
but
so
I've seen like almost all of season 4.
So the spoilers for it for season 3, but when they do the like 2 episode long, why can I not think of the word exposition dump of them talking about the people on the island and how that's where all of the show takes place and that there's a whole nother universe of people and they're just standing on the wall doing that lore dump for 2 episodes. I'm like, I had to watch a couple YouTube videos. I had to rewatch that like 2 or 3 times, and I'm like, oh my God, Attack on Titan. It's cool, but it's like, fuck, this is like way too much.
I remember at the end of that, learning all of it, just being like, that the end of the season happens, and you just got freaking crammed all. You're like, what show have I been watching?
Right?
Like,
it feels totally different.
Wait, so like, what happens next?
Like, dude, I'm just trying to get baked and watch cartoons. Like, what are you talking
I thought we were
about?
fighting giant titans, and now I'm realizing we're in like this
It's like a
oppressive
modern-
city-state inside of a larger universe that I didn't realize. And the Titans are an analogy for my depression somehow, probably. I don't fucking know. But it's like, what is going on? This is insane levels of like hierarchies to the plot lines. And the big baddie of the show changes like every 6 episodes, where you're like, the show starts, you're like, Titans, bad. But then within 6 to 10 episodes, you start to like figure out maybe more. But by the end of season 1, you're like, oh, it's not the Titans aren't like the bad thing.
It's the
the people that control the Titans.
Yeah,
it's the classic. It's not the monsters. It was the people all along.
Yeah,
and then it's the people that control the people that are the Titans. Yeah. And then it's like the whole.
I will say one of my favorite.
Oh my God, Cody, the last fucking episode, dude.
Going into season 4, some of the stuff I was like, ooh, is this getting too crazy? But I kind of started to like more was the idea of like they get into Aaron exists at all times, basically. Like,
okay, so you got that.
I got to that. That was the point where I usually have to tell people, I'm like, how far are you? Because I'm like, there's a point in the show where stuff gets revealed where you're like, what is going
He becomes
on?
It becomes very anime.
Man,
It
like
becomes very anime.
it goes from just being like an action show to existential crisis levels of like thinking out a plot line that started so far back and was so thought out up to this point. And it's like they even go through showing you like here's all these moments where he was
there.
he was there. He made like pushing the dad to make choices in a time where he wasn't even born. And you're like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah,
How does he do this? His brother thinks I love the moment where the brother Zeke is like, they're in space, basically, like a space-time continuum.
Okay,
And they're
I was trying to remember if all this stuff was in the last couple
and he's
episodes
like,
or not.
it's like Zeke's chained up, but Aaron's there, and Zeke's like, I'm here to give you the truth, little guy.
But then Aaron gets chained up, and then Zeke gets chained
Aaron,
up, and he, like flips.
Aaron flips it on him to be like, oh, you're here to tell me no, bitch. Actually, I'm the reason you do anything you do. I was always there. And it's like,
You guys
what is happening?
Talking about this right now makes me realize how much I'm like, holy fuck, yeah, you're right. I have forgotten about all of this.
So much crazy shit.
Because there's so much shit that happens.
I don't even remember getting to that point. I just remember they're in some ethereal space and they're talking. And it was like,
well, because it's where
At one point, the whole crew's there.
it's like Ymir, right? Ymir is like the
God Titan.
and she's like making everybody out of sand.
Mm-hmm.
Like she makes
there's the moment with like everyone in like the giant ice crystal palacey area with like the girl.
Well, that was in real world.
Yeah, that was real world, and it's like there's the
Kind of.
It's like the dad, dude. Exactly. It starts to hurt your head the further you go in, and that's where every time I'm thinking like I should watch Attack on Titan. I start thinking of that. I'm like, no,
Cody, watch a 20-minute recap of everything up until the last 2 episodes. That's what I did.
Have you watched the?
I've watched it
all of it.
Yeah, I've finished it.
Was the ending good? I have not watched that.
You haven't either? Fuck.
No.
Okay.
So the what haven't you watched? Have you guys both probably not watched the last 2 movie
I
episodes?
100%
Yes.
haven't seen those. I have
Okay.
not seen those.
So the ending of it apparently is very controversial, of course, as everything is, because it gets so insane and ridiculous. I thought it was still dope as fuck, but some people were very mad at
It's a
upset.
nerd show, dude.
As
Everybody's-
we're talking about it, I'm now like making it officially where I'm like, okay, I will make an effort to try and watch this and finish this.
If you
out.
watch it too by next week and you can come on, I'll try to do it Wednesday and then we could talk about it if you want. I can.
One of the other
send
things
a text.
I don't know if, because I still haven't
Together.
watched it. I still have not watched Dune 2.
Whoa.
And I really
This is
dude.
basically the Dune 2 podcast.
I know. I really want to watch it.
You haven't seen it yet?
I know, dude. And
That sucks. You didn't
I
get
was
to see
like,
it in
biggest
theaters.
TV you can, loudest sound system. Like that's in
we don't
order.
have a sound system,
But to enhance and make sure, like you gotta, it's one of the like turn the lights off.
Yeah.
You sit down and you just like, all right, you settle in because it is such a fucking experience.
That's crazy. Have you
I
watched
know.
the first one?
Oh yeah, and I wanted to. I can't even remember what happened. I think I was gonna go with my brothers. I bought tickets or something, and then they couldn't go, and then I got tickets to go with Sherry, and then we couldn't go, and then it was like a week left in theaters, and I was like, I'll just wait for it to come out, and then it came out, and I mean, it's a long fucking movie. I just like haven't like sat down to do it.
It's still on HBO.
Yeah, it's
both
on
of them.
Max.
Yeah.
But
That it's
so I need to do it, and that when I texted you the other day, I was almost gonna recommend that. Like, can I watch Dune 2? And then we talk about that, and then
You should.
you said
Should've.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you were like, no, don't
can't- I
watch
can't-
anything, or I don't want you on my podcast.
I did not say that. I actually said you should watch Arcane. I did say that.
I know, but I was like, dude, there's 6 episodes and it's Monday,
true.
At that time, there were 3.
and as I said,
Oh, no, that's not true. That's
yeah.
not true. There were 6.
And I still feel like I need to like literally watch the whole first season.
True. Dune 2 is one of those
And
like
Stardew Valley updates out, so I'm fucked.
That just sucks that you missed it being in theaters. And that luckily,
I know.
that's a
that
movie-
was a have to see in theater.
I
movie.
know.
Look-
I,
look-
I
Had to.
Luckily, that movie is one of those ones that will be re-released.
I was about
in theaters.
it'll come back.
Yeah.
No doubt that comes to IMAX theaters and stuff again because of like it's a full on experience.
Yeah. So luckily, you'll be able to do that at least. But definitely watch that. It just sucks. I don't know.
Sitting there when I was just like by myself in that seat watching on that big ass screen.
Cody's
here,
just coming his pants.
I was like I probably looked like a fucking retard, dude. I probably looked so dumb. I probably looked so dumb where I'm just sitting there. I was like,
You look like an anime.
like I
character.
wanted, yeah. I was just like looking around, trying to like make eye contact with someone, and be like, "That was crazy." But and in the end, everyone else just watching, and it's like, dude, I can't even take my eyes off. It's like
Captivated.
the whole like the score, everything, like
I want
easily.
to watch it really bad.
What did you think of the first one?
It was fucking amazing. I fucking loved it. That's
Really?
why. Yeah.
Like really liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Oh, wow.
That's surprising because I love it now because of 2. It's one
Yeah,
of those
that's-
things where like I
yeah.
love the prequels
Really?
of Star
No, I
Wars
thought it
movies
was
think
because
great.
of watching.
You'll
the show
like
more.
it. I like Dune 1 more because of Dune 2.
I liked Dune 1 when I saw it. I did not love it. I love it now. The Dune 2 is like goated, but
For whatever reason, I love like fucking like dark culty shit, and Dune is like
Dude,
Star Wars with dark cults in it.
oh, it's so fun.
It's like
It's so
fucking
cool.
sick. And it's so like eerie and weird, and
I'm
it's
telling
just
you
cool.
right. I'm glad I didn't expect, or I just didn't know. I guess like even I'd say the same. Like Dune 1, I watched. I was like, that was really good. But
you could tell that it was like another level. The production and like how it felt, the universe and everything in it.
Now realizing it's like you could feel you're like, but obviously there's something missing. It's part 1. Okay, yeah. Like, and so it is a setup movie, which is weird because it's like if a setup movie is this good, that's what I take it as. I'm like, I think of this movie as an 8 or 9 out of 10. After I saw Dune 2, I was like, they're both 10 out of 10s.
Yeah.
I was like, it all makes sense now. Honestly, I totally get why they went a little more. They really held back on the first one. When you watch part 2, it's like, oh, you thought like it was slow? Like I remember some people being like, a lot of talking, a lot of characters, a lot of setting up
Very
plot.
cool visuals, like
Yeah.
when they're blowing up the
So
ships and the
fucking
first
cool.
That's
initial
where-
invasion. That's like what the whole fucking second
They,
movie
exactly.
is.
They
It's
said
awesome.
they hit you in the first one where they're like, remember how cool that shit was? But we really only like just dabbled with it. Part 2 is like balls to the wall.
We're giving you 3
all
hours
it.
of this.
We are going crazy. We're gonna give you like all
Mixed
the
with the lore
moments,
dump in the world.
dude. But the world, like you're talking like the culty stuff. One of my favorite moments in the whole movie has to do with a specific speech that Paul gives, and it is like I was sitting there, and it was my convincing moment where the whole time with Timothy Chalamet, I was like, I don't know if I buy this kid being like a strong, tough leader guy. He gives a speech, and by the end of it, I wanted to get up out of my seat, and I was like, I'm fighting for him. I was like, it's game time. I'm ready to go. Like,
It's a modern day
Bro,
Lord
I'd
of the
fight
Rings.
for Willy Wonka any fucking
Dude,
day of the week.
Willy Wonka was good.
Oh, I fucking love that movie too.
I
have
Willy
not
Wonka.
seen that.
It's just called Wonka, right?
Wonka,
yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
just, we went and saw that, and I enjoyed that movie way more than I thought. I think I'm just a Timothy Chalamet fan now. Didn't think I was going to be like
fucking-
this.
He's good, dude.
I fuck with Timothy Chalamet.
He's great.
He's really good.
He can do comedy. He can do drama like Dune, and then he can do a weird whimsical thing like Wonka. Like it was all fun, and he could do little musical
Wonka
stuff.
is Willy
a good
Wonka
time.
in general is so like it's like fun and whimsical and also just like fucking weird.
Some of
So
the
weird.
darkest stuff ever.
It's like super
weird.
Wonka
fucking
isn't really
weird.
dark.
But the
Just a
original
little
one,
bit, but the
The
original, one, yeah.
original, yeah.
dude, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, it scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
The tunnel
It's
boat.
like Uncanny
scene,
Valley weird.
That tunnel
The
boat
acid
is
trip.
wild. Yeah, it's just. I go back and watch it now, and I'm like, this is genuinely scary. I am very scared. This is uncomfortable.
I remember being scared of going on into Small World in Disneyland because I watched Willy Wonka.
that would make sense. And you go on that ride, and you're like, this is
like 7.
straight up the lamest ride I've ever been on. Nice.
Now I'm worried that I'm going to go into a wild circling acid trip.
Yeah.
Can I ask you guys a question?
No.
Of course you can.
What is your favorite single player video game of all time?
It's probably God of War. It used to be
One
The
or
Last
two.
of Us. I
As in God of War 2018 or God of War Ragnarok?
I know what you meant. That's the hard part. Is like I see him as one game, but
Yeah.
it's one the first 2018. That one's my favorite. There's never been anything that's made me, except for The Last of Us, the first one. The Last of Us 2 was fine to me. But
Did you play those?
Yep.
Did you finish 2?
Yeah. I finished both.
You're like
of them.
halfway through 2.
2 is long.
It is fucking long.
It's very
dude.
long.
I feel like I categorize them differently because single player game is tough where I have 2 in my head, but they're vastly different in how I play them. So it's like I would play them at different times, equally love them just as much.
One's The Witcher.
No.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't.
Wanted to try to guess first.
No. I mean, one of them has to be, and maybe it's recency bias because I just was watching videos, but I always do, and I think it's true. But like Red Dead Redemption 2 is hands down up there. Like you can shit on the gunplay all you want, and like how it's a little bit of a slower pace compared to a GTA. There's no other game where like I'm actually playing and I'm like, this is like a triple, like this is Hollywood level status, like voice acting, the cutscenes and the how it looks is just like I see emotion on characters' faces.
Yeah.
Either way, that's like a very story driven, very narrative.
I want to be a fucking cowboy.
I'm
for the next 3
living
hours.
as a cowboy.
Yeah.
and then there's Elden Ring.
Yeah.
And Elden Ring is like
Really?
very different than obviously a Rockstar Games open world, but it's the most engrossing and just like captivating world. The combat and the gameplay, what you actually get to do as a player in the game is some of the most in-depth, cool, awesome looking, engaging, just it's up to you to figure it out. But believe me, you can figure it out. It's not like we're giving you a bad hand. We're giving you every single card in the deck. It's up to you to figure out how to get the best hand out of it. And so it's like, I've watched newcomers who have never played a game play it, and they're like, this is the best game I've ever played.
Yeah.
I've watched people who have played all the other Dark Souls and everything play it, and they go, this is the best game I've ever played. Like, it makes newcomers become true fans. It makes true fans become even more of a fan, if that's possible. And it is the culmination of, like, when did Dark Souls 1 come out? I think it was, like, 2010 or 2011.
Yeah. Wow.
It's like over a decade's worth of games that they have honed in to a damn near perfect status.
And one of the most impressive things about it, if anybody's curious, I fucking heavily agree. Elden Ring is the greatest video game that's ever been created. I'm fully convinced. Yeah.
Wow.
It's so good.
This was their first try at a fully open world.
Yeah.
I've never played any of like the Armored Core games. I don't think Armored Core is I don't think it's an open
It's
world
not.
game.
Armored Core is crazy.
It's not. It's definitely not
So
It's not a
insane.
Soulsborne. Like, it wouldn't be
No,
categorized.
it's not.
as that.
It's like a whole different
It's
genre.
its own.
It's a mech game.
Anyways, it was their first attempt at an open world game, and it's perfect.
It's never played in an open
it's
world
perfect.
that is like that.
What do you mean by that?
From
Somebody who's never played it.
The way it guides you in. So you know how people, when Breath of the Wild came out, the idea of Elden Ring 100% took inspiration and direct concepts from Breath of the Wild to their advantage.
I can actually do anything. I can climb this. I can do that. I can make this.
Not making stuff. It's more like, hey, you see that cool looking thing over there? Go towards it. It looks cool, right?
There's something there
Like,
that you will be interested in.
Every single corner of the map, every little thing you see. If you could be on the roof of a castle, and if there is a corner with a path that leads around it, go look. I guarantee something is there.
Another question for me, as somebody who also has only played maybe like 10 hours of Red Dead 2, how's that different than Red Dead 2? It sounds like you're talking about very lived in worlds, very lived in open worlds that feel like you're embraced in the environment and you can do stuff anywhere you go. How are they? What's the difference between Elden Ring and
the way Elden Ring presents its story is nowhere near how Red Dead or Rockstar.
It's not a cinematic, right?
They are not
It's
giving
not like
you.
cutscenes
You get
kind of
one
thing.
cutscene at the beginning of the game, and all it does is tell you main bosses' names. And honestly, you're going to be more confused than you probably are having any idea of what's going on.
You would love it actually because it's this like Scottish old dude screaming into the microphone.
You tarnished.
You tarnished.
You dead.
Yeah, you should
Like,
actually
it's
just
sick.
watch the opening cutscene.
But,
I have
um,
watched dozens of hours of Elden
it's-
Ring, ironically.
Like I
played it.
I can play Red Dead, and I have just as much fun holding my left trigger doing nice response to someone, and Arthur goes, well, you're not too bad, boy. And then you do the bad one. He goes, get your ass on the ground or I'm going to shoot you. It's like, that was fun. All I did was go left trigger, look at someone and go X or B.
Yeah.
But I loved the interactivity of how they just present, the way he talks, the animations of how they're moving. You're not getting any of that in Elden Ring. They don't even, your character doesn't fucking say a word.
There's a very in-depth and heavy storyline,
If
but it's
you want.
none of it's force-fed. to
Like, you
you
legit-
you have to go looking.
you
for
have
it.
Didn't
to
Railroad
read.
Martin write it?
He
So
contributed to it.
it's more like, I think he just came
Instead of
up.
writing Game of Thrones, fucking bitch.
A lot of the Game of Thrones aspects of like, hey, here's some like insanely fucked up family, and we just made a family tree, and they're all fucking
He
crazy.
kind of helped with like the world building. He didn't like
Yeah.
write the story of the game, like what you're
Yeah.
doing. He helped build the world of the lands.
It's
between.
it's just vastly different in how you approach, I think, the game itself. Like when I'm playing Elden Ring, I'm sitting there and it's more of a like, you don't know what's going to be around the next corner, and I love it. Like I'm excited to maybe die because whatever they're going to do is going to be like one of the moments in Elden Ring I always or will never forget is early in the game you're going up like a hill towards Stormvale. Wolves are just fall out of the sky. They literally, you hear howling and you're like, where are they? They start fucking raining wolves from the sky. You're like, what the fuck is going on? Like, you can't predict that. You don't know. Of course, like I died, but I laugh. After I die, I'm laughing. I'm like, fuck, I just got smoked by the flying dogs. Like, what the hell? You're not getting that in Red Dead.
So go ahead.
I was just gonna say Elden Ring. I'm playing for the challenge of it, for the combat, for like the actual game of it. Whereas
That was kind of going to be my question.
Whereas in Red Dead, like if you excuse me, translate it to D&D, I'm playing Red Dead for the role playing, the conversations, the talking, the exploring. When I'm playing Elden Ring, I'm playing it for the combat.
So in layman's terms, in Elden Ring, you're excited to go around the corner and find out what new unique type of boss you're going to fight.
Yeah.
In Red Dead, you're excited to see why this dude is sitting next to a dead alligator and why he needs to go help them take you to somewhere.
Or it's just the next story beat in general in the main story. Like, there are so many quests in Red Dead. By the end of the game, man, it ramps up so fast to where, like, you're with the gang, you know the gang, and then there's certain missions that happen where it's like, the mission ended and I was like, holy fuck, I have to, like, I beeline to the next mission. Yeah. It's no longer like, oh, I'm exploring the open world and I'm dilly. No. Whatever just happened in that last mission had such dire consequences, and I am so engrossed in these characters. Like, dude, I couldn't give a fuck about any of the characters in Elden Ring. Like, when I kill them, I don't feel any sort of like, oh no, I don't know who they are. In Red Dead, when a cutscene happens, you know, okay, shit, something's about to happen. And there are cutscenes where you know the inevitable is coming. Like, a character you love is about to die, and you just have to watch it happen. It's like, to have a video game make me feel like I'm watching The Penguin. That's Red Dead. Red Dead is a game where I genuinely cry at the end.
It's cinematic.
It is so beyond, like, I've always said you could make a TV show out of it, I think. It's a straight Western classic. Like, it's such a good story, especially Red Dead 2 into 1, depending on how you play them. Like, 2's a prequel to 1, but the way 2 ends off leading into 1, it's like, it could be the best show ever. Awesome. It could be so good. It's like I think you'd love it.
Instead, they're making a God of War TV show, which pisses me off because I just don't think it's going to be good. I think it takes too much when it's supposed to be fantasy, and it's supposed to be it's going to take too much to make that great. Whereas Red Dead could be a lot more like The Last of Us. There's a reason Last of Us transitions into a show so well, is because it's like a movie when you're playing
Westworld exists. Westworld had the sci-fi twist of, like, it's a fake Western world. Mm-hmm. But watching the first season of Westworld, I was like, you're telling me you can't make a Red Dead show? Look at this shit. You're doing it in front of my eyes. Like, I'm watching it.
And unfortunately, the God of War thing is not HBO. I don't remember what it is, but
probably like fucking AMC or something.
I don't
think it's AMC. That would be even more upsetting.
But I was gonna say,
I think it is
who created maybe the worst television show that's ever existed.
You better not be talking about Rings of Power.
Also made Fallout.
Worst television show that's ever existed.
With Amazon making Fallout, that has been my life.
Fast and Furious.
Ooh.
That's fair.
Fallout show brings me back to, like, okay, Amazon can do good stuff. Like, I was thoroughly surprised by it.
I have not watched that.
I was like,
that's a good one to watch.
But I have heard
again, not much to watch because it's just the one season. So
and that to me is the best.
Watch it.
It's a that's a popcorn show. You don't need your brain on. Like, yeah, there's a plot line. Yes, there's characters.
Can I watch Subway Surfers on my phone while watching?
Oh, dude, you stream it on half the screen.
I don't want to play. I just want to watch it.
I hate that shit, too, because that's become such a thing on, like, TikTok. And Ludwig, one of the streamers that I watch, made a joke out of it. So he had, like, Subway Surfers, Candy Crush, something else on there. He had, like, 7 things on his screen while he was doing, like, a reaction to, like, the Trump Kamala debate. And so he just had all these things on his screen while he was, like, trying to actually react and, like, talk about it. It was pretty funny. I hate that shit, though, where it's like somebody doing a breakdown of something that's Subway. It's just ridiculous.
No one speak. I saw a video the other day, maybe it was yesterday, of this guy. There's an app that he was able to plug in, like this. He's in college, a PDF or some document that he was supposed to read and study. You submit it into this app, it reads it to you. It'll play like Minecraft parkour videos and show each word like da 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 da.
Oh.
And it translates the whole thing. So that's how he studies. He watches Minecraft parkour videos and it like feeds the words of this document into it. So
that's brain rot. That's full on, like.
And he was like, he even said that. Man. He was like, dude, I'm fucked up because I'm actually retaining it now.
Yeah, like it works. I'm doing
couldn't,
it.
Like, I was getting to the point where I was so tired I couldn't, like, keep reading this, and now I'm retaining it.
Yeah, I believe it. It's fucked up. It's like, I hate it. There's literally so many videos I go on my reels, dude.
Working himself
Like,
into a funk over
There
there.
was, I have had so many videos in the last however many months where I'm just like, I don't watch these. Why do these why do these pop up? The half screen is just someone playing a fucking game, and I'm like, is this really where we're at? Like, do kids actually sit here and like they need that shit to like?
Yes.
Yeah, kids totally watch them.
Yeah,
It's always got to be amped up more. Of course.
it's sad because it is so bleeding into.
How we were just
everything,
talking
though.
about how anytime we need to be doing something, we need to be listening to something. Anytime the kids probably need to be doing something, they need to be doing something and listening to something and watching something. So if they're listening to
And
a
playing
podcast, they
Elden
need
Ring.
to have
Go play Elden Ring.
all at the same time. It's just ridiculous. Cody, did you watch anything new this week that you wanted to talk about?
No.
Okay. I actually have two more things, but one of them's kind of fine. I'll just mention that I watched Troy for the first time. That movie's 3 hours long. It's
Brad Pitt, right?
Yeah, it's a Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
I forget what the other main character,
guy
but
from Moneyball?
it's got a yeah, it's that guy. It has a stacked cast, and that movie is really awesome and very underrated. Is not the right word because that movie is very popular. It just had never come on my radar. And you know how I talked about like how I like Lord of the Rings because of giants, spectacle battles, all that stuff. That's what Troy is. It's really
That has
fucking
really
cool.
good like sword fighting scenes.
Dude, it has awesome fight scenes for the early 2000s, like way better than like Lord of the Rings, I would say, because they portray Achilles, Brad Pitt. He's a god, demigod. And the way they portray him, it's not him like literally moving faster, like moving like a blur, like doing these things. It's just showing him throwing things faster or being able to dodge and just see things without being like literally like a vampire. You'd see like a blur fast and stuff. And the action scenes are so cool. The way that he fights, it's not just, oh, I swing harder and faster. It's, oh, the way I move around you and all that stuff. And I watched this at like 3 a.m. So also it was a grind. I started it at like,
It's like 3 hours.
well, it was Sydney's fault. All right, Sydney.
Did you start it at 3 in the morning?
No. So I started it at like 12:30.
Damn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, Sydney
that's
was like, let's watch a movie. I was like, you're going to fall asleep in 5 minutes. She's like, no, I won't. And then she fell asleep in 5 minutes. And my problem is if I start a movie, I finish it.
Yeah.
So I started the movie at 12:30 and I finished it. And I watched the whole goddamn thing. It's like, I think it's 2 hours and 37 minutes. It's not a short movie. Really good, though. Highly enjoyed that. The one other movie I wanted to talk about was I watched Godzilla Minus One yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Have you seen that?
I have.
Have you seen that?
Godzilla Minus One.
It's the newest Godzilla movie.
I'm
It's a
telling you,
Japanese movie.
it's really good.
Only a $15 million budget.
I know, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like, there's definitely moments where the CGI
yeah.
times you're like, all right, it could look better, but then in the grand scheme, when you're watching it, it just never appears that way. Like, you really
It reminds
settle
you of
it.
like Rings of Power.
Yeah.
No, not really. I wouldn't say so.
I really liked it. I watched that at Soto's with him and Andrew. Andrew was hyped. He was like, we should all watch it together. It's coming to Netflix, and like we'll all go to Soto's and watch. So we did, but we had a good time.
Yeah, I watched it just because I saw the Arcane thing and the Mike Tyson shit. So I saw it that it was like one of the recommended movies on there. I was like, oh, I forgot that this came to Netflix, X months ago or last year or whenever that was. I've been wanting to watch this. It's actually not as short as I thought it was going to be. It's over 2 hours, which I was surprised about.
Is it connected to any of the?
No,
nothing.
this is a Japanese movie that was dubbed over, so they are all speaking in Japanese.
Is it like
but
new? Like they just
It's
made
new.
it?
It came out less
Pretty
than a year
new,
ago.
yeah,
I think.
pretty new.
If not, maybe exactly a year ago.
It's like the newest Godzilla movie you'll find it.
But it is legit. Like it's a foreign movie. It's made in Japan. Like it is in Japanese traditionally, but it is the Netflix one is dubbed over. So it's in English, which is always a little
good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I don't think I watched the dub. I think I was watching sub.
The dub.
It was
It's gotta be a
surprisingly
damn
good.
dub.
That stuff bothers me especially a lot more in live action. You
Dude,
can usually get away with it in anime because their mouths are always moving.
Hearing
weird, but
hearing them say, "Goshira," like
they don't say they say Godzilla.
Well,
They don't say it with an accent. Oh, are you
I'm
talking about when
talking
you watch it normally?
when you're watching it normally.
Oh, okay.
That's why I like it.
Yeah, because they say well, if you guys have watched the dub version, you would know that they do pronounce some stuff with like a Japanese accent, which is kind of weird.
Oh no, it's Godzilla.
Yeah.
No, for real. There's a couple of moments where it happens like that because they'll like say people's names in the name of the city, and then they'll just say and Godzilla. Like whoa.
He's pretty scary, man. Like,
But dude, the sickest thing about Godzilla Minus One is his fucking atomic breath. The way that they take so long for his little scales to like pop out and turn into
Is that
the
his
laser
laser
beam.
beam?
That's his
Yeah.
laser beam. So he turns all blue, and they like his just
like
we'll call him
he
scales.
charges up.
Yeah, he charges up, which he does in the MonsterVerse also, but it is way sicker in Godzilla Minus One because it charges up. he sucks everything in, and it sucks like everything that's in the air around him and pulls it in. Like even if there's a little bit of debris around him, it like pulls it in, and he shoots it out, and it does the thing that I'm a sucker for in movies where everything goes silent because he goes, and then it goes.
Dude, it's a
The-
literal.
The Boba Fett.
Yeah,
effect.
yeah.
Bro, it's a literal
what are those called?
nuke.
What is it
Yeah,
called?
I don't remember.
Sound bomb.
Yeah, just yeah. But anyways, it's sick. And the first time he does it in a city, it nukes the city. It literally does a mushroom cloud nuke.
Yeah, it's a
which is
straight up
sick.
nuke.
Oh, yeah.
And it nukes
Totally
everything.
spoilers.
It goes by the main character guy, and it's just blasting everything by. He's in like a little alleyway in between two cement buildings. It's just blasting everything by. I don't know. They don't explain this or why it does this, but then everything it flies by, and then it gets sucked back in.
back.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know why it happens, but it looks dope.
I think
It's
that's
dope.
It's
a
like
normal. I think that's like a phenomenon.
The
with-
outward propulsion has to come back in.
Yeah, because it like causes
Really?
a
I
vacuum.
I think so. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Where the
Yeah, that would make
explosion
sense.
happened and it comes back.
it's like
It was
air
dope.
pressure densities and things I wouldn't know.
it was so cool.
Science,
And-
bitch.
Yeah, I know. And he looks really. It's really weird because it's kind of uncanny. Where like Cody was saying, where he looks really good most of the time, but that sometimes it's like his face looks a little cartoony. They definitely make him try to look a little bit more like the Godzilla of the dude in the Godzilla suit, like from the 50s and stuff.
They tried to make him look like that.
Yeah, definitely sometimes when he's walking by because his arms don't move and he's standing straight up and it's a little weird. But then when he does stuff and when he shoots his atomic breath, it looks way more anime and he goes full like dinosaur mode. And I'm like, this is cool.
They
That
did
is-
a pretty cool angle with the movie of like, instead of it being a monster movie, it's basically an anti-war movie. Like entirely. It like the nuke idea is very realistic where they're like, what if it was Godzilla and not just like the humans?
Well,
It's pretty much like it's a large amount of the movie goes on playing off of like, a heavy anti-war message of like,
fuck the government. Government's
Yeah.
always sucking us into this shit. And
yeah.
the cool thing about Godzilla, if you don't know about it, is that Godzilla was like created as because Godzilla was, I think the first one came out in like the 50s or maybe the late 40s. Godzilla was created as an image and like a metaphor to the bombs that were dropped in Japan.
I was gonna.
That's why Godzilla is based
very
off of
World War II directed.
That's why he feeds off of nuclear power. That's why there's a lot of nuclear stuff based around Godzilla. That's why he's supposed to be a metaphor for the Hiroshima and Nagasaki getting
Yeah.
destroyed by nuclear bombs.
Damn.
And so that's
Yeah.
in this movie, it takes place right after World War II and after things have been blown up, and then Godzilla comes and fucks them up.
Oh yeah, not to
Yeah.
mention like the whole like a large part of the plot is at the start surrounding around like he's like the main character dude is a soldier and he comes back home and
Well, specifically, he was a kamikaze soldier
Yeah.
that bitched out.
Yeah,
He
and-
pretended that his plane malfunctioned and went to and
he comes back and everyone
coward.
everyone
Yeah.
literally is like fuck you.
and so his whole thing is
fuck you. Why are you
Yeah.
here? And he's like and his whole family's been killed already.
because it's a
And he's
very
like,
it's a very Japanese centric
Sweet.
thing where it's all based on like honor. You know, you didn't go kill yourself and dive bomb yourself in there. So his whole thing is you need to make sure like his arc at the end is like they set him up with a bomb to blow up Godzilla from the inside, fly in his mouth, kamikaze him. And he ends up doing that, but then they come to the realization because it's years after the war. They come to the realization that kamikaze is stupid. Like, why are we sending these young guys to go to just bomb themselves when like they could be used to do more? Anyways, he ends up getting like shot out from the plane before and surviving, and everybody praises him because he like makes up for himself. So there's actually a really good story,
There's the
human
movie.
arc. Yeah, pretty much. There's actually a really good human story arc. What? That's it. There's actually a really good human story arc. And then Godzilla is actually really cool in it. Godzilla's not in it a ton, which I was a little surprised about.
Monster movie, dude.
Yeah, and
Don't
I
show the monster.
yeah, which yeah, if that tells us anything with the modern monster movies that are coming out, it's like the thing I fucking hate the most about the modern monster movies is that now they're in like the hollow earth, so everything is as big as them, so they feel like they're not big anymore, and it's like, what's the point of this? Anyways, beyond the point. Godzilla Minus One,
Anywho's.
really dope.
It was dope.
Why is it called
Recommend go
minus
watching it.
one?
Huh? I don't know. I was trying to figure that out.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Nice.
Straight
not-
up no idea.
Cool.
Yeah.
But it is cool. Even
Sounds cool.
I would even say if you're not going to go watch it, just go look up a clip of him shooting his atomic
Why would I
breath.
watch it? You just told me the whole
Yeah,
story.
he already knows it.
It's not about the story.
Ah.
Story doesn't matter. This is just a monster movie. You just want to see him nuke cities and fuck shit up.
Then I'll watch Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's definitely not about the story. But if anything, go watch a clip of him just shooting his atomic breath. That's
Hell yeah.
because it's dope.
That's interesting because I have not watched a lot of Godzilla movies.
Me neither.
I think I've literally only watched Godzilla versus Kong. And so when I saw his laser beam, I was like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. It's so like Hollywood extreme, like action movie. Of course, he has a fucking laser beam, and then you say that, I'm like, oh shit, that's like,
Bro,
that's canon.
Yeah,
you
definitely.
you should also go watch a clip of just like the older Godzilla movies because there's
Okay,
a
I've
point.
seen clips of those.
Have you seen the one where Godzilla flies and how he flies?
I don't know.
I think I've seen
Godzilla
that.
flies because he turns his tail into a helicopter and flies with his body facing up towards the sky,
Okay, maybe
and his tail's
I
spinning.
feel like I might have seen that.
Dude, they are so ridiculous. They're so funny.
Had to get hello.
Well, there, buddy.
They had to get super creative with the idea of we just got a guy in a costume.
I know.
Straight
We're
up.
just gonna turn him into
We
a helicopter.
gotta figure something out here, but
There's a turtle that sucks in its arms into its shell and then starts spinning with rockets because apparently it has rockets on it, and that's how it flies like a helicopter and it bumps into Godzilla.
It is, like,
it's so dumb.
in a
It's
monster
amazing.
movie, all I want to see is the monster fuck shit up.
Yeah.
That's all. Like
That's what
it
I'm
is
saying about Godzilla.
yeah, it is
Minus
pretty true when
like Babadook.
the new ones with Millie Bobby Brown in them. It's like
That's
all
why it's
this-
confusing. She's only in one of them.
all of
they
the
change the cast every time.
They
It's
and
Bryan
it's-
Cranston.
anytime they go to the human characters, I'm always like, and don't care.
Yeah.
This is no longer is it cool. I straight up have no interest in what we're talking about. Let's go back to the big ass fucking monster decimating a city. That was way cooler.
The two Godzilla movies that you should watch. Well, actually, three. The first Godzilla one that came out with Bryan Cranston, who was in all the advertisement and then died in the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Spoilers.
So dumb. Yeah, make sure. Yeah, look out for that in the first 5 minutes because he falls off a bridge and dies immediately. Is that one? And then Godzilla King of Monsters because that's when he fights the three-headed dragon King Ghidorah, and that one's fucking sick. There are some
Oh, I feel
awesome
like
shots in
maybe
that
I-
one. That
maybe
one's
I did
cool.
Watch that.
That
There's
one's
a
legit
lot.
cool.
There's surprisingly more.
There's like 6.
I've
know there's a
forgotten
lot.
about a lot.
Yeah.
There's Godzilla versus Kong. There's Godzilla, Kong, Skull Island, and then there is Godzilla King of the Monsters, and then there's Godzilla versus Kong, and then there's another one that just came out, and then there's Godzilla Minus One.
Nothing's gonna beat the Peter Jackson King Kong that came out with Jack Black and Adrian Brody and all those people. That
pretty
one
good.
where he fights the T-Rexes. That King Kong was genuinely like. I remember as a kid, I was like, "Oh, this is badass. This
Rips
is it."
open the jaws.
Like it was a long movie too, but like it looked good. King Kong was
Still looks good.
fucking insane looking. Like I just remember seeing King Kong. You're like, "Whoa, this is fucking sick!" Like
Dude, it holds up. That came out in 2005.
yeah, it's a good movie. Like my favorite Kong movie for sure. Even the moment of getting him back to New York and having him go up on the Empire State Building, I was like, "Damn, this is fucking sick!" Like
Peter Jackson is prime. That's right after Lord of the
that
Rings.
was right after.
That's
So that's
sick.
like one of his next best. Like that movie, I think holds up super well.
He was riding a high.
So dope.
And that was like state of the art CGI that they got probably at who did all this stuff? Probably like ILM.
Who knows? Well, if there's nothing else that you guys got, Tanner, you good?
Yeah.
There it is. Cody, you good?
I think so.
All right, Tanner, thanks for coming on. We'll see you next
Appreciate
time.
ya.
Watch Attack on Titan.
I will.
It gets fucking for both of you.
Actually,
it
I'm
gets,
going to be honest. I probably won't by next week, but we'll
It's
see. We'll
2
find out.
I just
2
thought
hours.
about it in the moment, and I might not either, even after what I said.
You guys
but-
are just solid boners. You know that?
I'm sorry.
I want to talk to somebody about it. I've only been able to talk to one person
Dude, next
about
week's
it.
like Thanksgiving week. Are you guys going to
Oh, that's right. You're right. You're right.
That's
That's a good call.
very
My
true.
bad. That's a good call.
Come on
We
now.
should.
We got
should,
Turkey Bowl next week. I got to do my stretches.
Yeah,
I
we'll
won't
have
be at Turkey
we'll have
Bowl.
to set this up for Monday or Tuesday then, if there's time open, because you don't want to have it close. Definitely not doing it on Thanksgiving. Probably
I'm
not.
not doing it Wednesday or Thursday.
I do have
Yeah.
one. I do have one question for you.
Yeah.
I forgot. I wanted
Shoot.
to ask you. What is your favorite bad movie? I know you guys talked about like good, bad,
I got it.
bad, but like when I
So
say
bad.
Well, when I say no, not like a movie that is objectively ridiculous and not a quality movie, but you love it.
Oh, there's a lot, but the first one that comes to mind, because it was one of the first videos I did on my channel, is Cocaine Bear. Cocaine Bear is one of the most egregious, ridiculous, dumbass things I've ever seen in my life. Goddamn if I didn't have a great time watching it. It's only like an hour and 20 minutes. The CG is horrible. The acting is terrible. They like try to take it serious with the way they kill people, but also it's a joke. The bear just is eating bricks of cocaine at a time. It's apparently based on a true story, very lightly. But I had
Very loosely.
very, very loosely.
Very lightly.
But I enjoyed the fuck out of that movie. That's the first one that comes to my mind. But there's a lot. Cody, was that just for me or for Cody too?
Well, I knew yours would be. I was hoping it'd be a bit more interesting answer.
Well, I didn't want to get too deep into it because we'll run out of time and I got to export this. So I could have gotten a little deeper.
Read.
Yeah, that's okay. We can get out of here. Mine's Avengers Endgame.
Yeah. And we're done.
Hot take. Boom. Thanks for joining, everybody. Like, subscribe. Peace out.